What's up guys, this is Balázs from RacingBrick and this is a DeLorean and this is the Lego DeLorean. But let's go back in time a little bit. I'm sure you saw my reveal and preview video already, but let's not forget to build this set before going through all the details. Don't worry, you will see more of that amazing car as well. I won't waste much time on the box since we've checked that in the previous video. Let's open it. The set has 1872 pieces, the price is 170 euros or dollars and it will be available from the 1st of April. There are 13 numbered bags inside with 11 building phases, an unnumbered bag and the manual with the sticker sheets. Here are the two sticker sheets, the smaller transparent one is for the flux capacitor. The manual looks pretty cool, it has some nice details from the movies with some iconic scenes, a few words from the design team, but honestly this section is a bit too short. It would be nice to get more information about the DeLorean itself or the movie car. If you really want to know more about the movies or the time machine itself, then I highly recommend this book. It's an excellent source of information. I will put a link in the blog post and I will also link a few videos that are worth to watch. As you see, we will build most of the car in the first 10 phases, then in the 11th one we can choose the version to finish from each movie. Here is the part list if you are interested. You can pause the video to see if you can find anything exciting. Now let's start building. First we assemble the two minifigs. Both designs are new and I love them, especially Doc's outfit and glasses. The build begins with this studded Technic frame that has some studless reinforcements. The two ends got different color coding and we have these slot assemblies now at the four corners. Even more Technic pieces and some sort of mechanism. I wonder what this will be. Here we get again the new white 3-module long frictionless axle pins, and this is the end of the first phase. We get a lot of these new 1x1 pieces in brown, but as I see there will be other fairly new connection method types as well. We built some interesting assemblies in the corners with studs all over the place, then covered most of it neatly with tiles, and that's the end of phase 2. This is one of the axles of the vehicle and it is a very clever Technic assembly, full of half beams and other specific connections to achieve this result. This will be the mechanism for the foldable wheels. Just take a look here how this pneumatic connector holds the tube piece that will have the sliding axle at the end. Amazing! And this always makes me wonder if such Technic innovation is possible in a branded creator expert set, why on earth can't we get anything more complex than the same old boring suspension, steering and fake engine in the branded Technic vehicles? They also have the same 18 plus badge, that's no excuse. Okay, sorry for the rant, let's move on. Mounting the axles to the main assembly requires some attention as all gears need to mesh properly. Make sure to pay attention to the position of this red lever and only move the gears a little bit to find their proper position, otherwise they won't be in sync with each other. Time to remove those yellow blocking pieces, and this is the step where you can test whether the wheel folding mechanism is working properly or not. The wheels should fold flat when you move the lever to the center, and they should move in sync. If you have any issues with this, go back a few steps and verify how you mounted the axles and how the gears mesh. It should work like this. This is the build at the end of phase 3. Here's an interesting little cover held in place with those clips to hide the gears. The build continues with some pretty colorful assemblies at the rear. Then we have these brackets at the front with the studs facing in different directions, but the end result is quite promising. Just look how all studs are covered with specific parts. This assembly might be the first from the angled front section. Those orange tooth pieces are quite unusual here. Phase 5 begins with the iconic front bumper and the front flux band. We get metallic silver parts with the transparent blue pieces for the flux bands. I think it was a good choice to only use the metallic parts for these sections. Here comes this specific new slanted slope piece that was created for the set. This will give us the edge of the hood. Two complex knot sandwiches for the front lights. Then they get covered properly and here comes the printed DeLorean logo with a small but unfortunately visible printing error on the M. These are two of the 6 flux boxes, also known as temporal field ignition boxes. The sand blue Lego color nicely matches the original. A few jumper plates to the middle, then a whole bunch of 2x6 bricks to the rear, and this is the end of phase 5. This step almost feels like cheating for me. That hinge part on the bracket does not connect to the jumper plate below it, it only sits on it to have a proper support. Small detail but pretty cool. Time to build the rear wheel arches. A similar open wedge piece was used by the way in the Creator Expert Ford Mustang for the same purpose. Here are the iconic rear lights, and I'm afraid this will be one of the details causing long debates whether the building technique used here is accurate enough. We'll get back to this later. The colorful bits of the rear bumper are covered, then comes the lower section with the two rear flux boxes, and this is the end of phase 6. Time to add details to the interior, like the gear shifter or the time circuit switch console. Here is the light brick, and this rubber piece will have something to do with the activation. Now comes the most important part of the entire build, the flux capacitor. We need to put this semi-transparent sticker on this window piece carefully. First I thought that the sticker itself will have some tricky pattern on it, but this seems to be transparent in the middle. So, what is the trick then? Here is this weird grappling hook piece, and this is how the magic happens. This will give us that iconic Y shape inside the flux capacitor. Some extra parts to cover it, let's put it in place, and it works! Here are the seats. It's nice that the position of the back is pretty much fixed, they don't flap around. Now comes the dashboard, and the big disappointment for a lot of people, we get stickers. And not only for the dashboard, but the time circuit displays as well. It's quite a shame, as even the product description said printed dashboard dates, but I guess it was simply wrong. Only that 1x1 keypad tile is printed. Printing that L-shaped piece for the dashboard was probably not possible, and unfortunately due to the size, the numbers are not visible either. Funny fact, the original car speedometer only went up to 85 miles per hour, so to achieve 88 they needed to add 10 to each number and create a fake speedometer for the close-up shots. Here comes the new windscreen piece, and as you see it has its own plastic bag. Not even a bag, it is actually a sticky cover to prevent scratches, and as I see it is a really successful protection. Very well done LEGO, this is the way to go forward. The installation is a bit tricky, but it's not that difficult to find the proper position. End of phase 7. This little assembly is the first part of the door mechanism, it goes here, then the same to the other side and the center of the roof. The blue pieces here represent the cooling system capacitors, and the sand green tubes are the emergency coolant tanks filled with liquid freon. There are supposed to be 3 of these, but we only have 2. This cool little mechanism will control the light brick. Make sure to align that sand green rounded piece properly. It uses the Technic rubber piece and it works pretty well. The reddish brown tubes here are the particle accelerator power coils. Yet another iconic part of the build, the reactor cooling vents. They have a pretty specific shape to fit here properly, and the 2 tubes have a fairly loose connection, but thanks to the shape and the tension of those pieces, they are held in place properly. Phase 9 has the doors, and the base is pretty hefty. Headlight pieces for the slot connections, then plates, tiles, a few more pieces here and there like the rear view mirror, and then it goes in place. I don't know if there will be any locking mechanism added, but they close by themselves now. Here comes the other door, and then the A-pillars that are quite tricky to assemble with all these towable connectors. The doors are still closing by themselves. Clips and hinges are used to achieve that specific triangular shape of the rear side frame. Metallic silver and transparent pieces are added for the flux bands, then the whole thing clicks in place thanks to those strategically placed hinge elements. Very cool. Time to do the wiring on the side, these hooks help a lot with this. Same things go to the other side, then some extra tubing at the rear. This is the tachyon pulse generator for the top. We are approaching the end, here is the plutonium case to build first, then the hoverboard, both of them have a dedicated place at the front. Interestingly, not the whole bag 11 is dedicated to the different variations, there are a few elements to add before we choose which model to finish. This will be the license plate holder insert, and here are the fins for the cooling ones. And this is the moment to choose which version we would like to build. Let's continue with the one from the first movie. Here's the hood first, it doesn't have that many parts. Then comes the classic license plate on this transparent window piece. I really wonder how difficult this one will be to swap out. Then comes the nuclear reactor with some additional pieces and tubing, the lightning rod as an accessory, then the wheels, and the final piece is the UCS plaque, and we are finished. So, here is the completed DeLorean time machine, and I have to say it looks really great for the first sight. Overall proportions are good, we have enough details, I'm quite happy with it. So, this is the version from the first movie. There's a possibility to build the one from the second movie with Mr. Fusion. An interesting detail regarding the pieces used for Mr. Fusion, this half pin seems to be new in white. If you want to be accurate, then you only use the folding wheels on this one. The instructions are not super clear. These transparent bricks are shown on the last page to be removed, but they are on the next one with the wheels unfolded. Anyway, they hold the DeLorean in the air with the wheels folded, but the gap is really minimal. If you want to have a proper flying display like on this promo shot, then you will definitely need more transparent bricks. And this is the version from the third movie with the classic tires and the hood box with the replacement parts for the time circuit microchip. I was really hoping that the conversion will be quick and straightforward, but there are two issues with it. The first is the license plate. As I thought during the installation, it is quite a challenge to replace. There's no easy way to remove that window piece. The whole unit that holds it also sits firmly in place, so you need to partially deconstruct the rear section to get access to it. There are no instructions for this in the manual. It's a quite unfortunate oversight. The other problem is the part usage. You can almost build all accessories the same time. Almost. There are really only a few pieces that are required to be used from the other configurations, but since they need to be reused, this means there's no quick swap option, some dismantling and reassembly is required. It's again a small annoyance that could have been easily avoided with a few extra pieces in the box, could have made the whole experience much smoother. Now let's see the functions. The main attraction is the flying mode with the folded wheels. It can be operated with the red lever at the bottom and it really works flawlessly. The hood also opens. There's room for the plutonium storage container and the hoverboard. We have opening doors as well. They look great, but I'm really missing some sort of support to keep them in position. If you don't hold them, then they will slowly but surely close by themselves. The light brick behind the flux capacitor is operated by this axle here at the back. It also works well, but you cannot lock that one either, so it only works while you keep it pushed down. Due to the folding wheels there's no steering, but I think this function is way more attractive, so I can easily forgive this. There are lots of details all around the car, especially at the rear, and also some in the interior, as you could see during the building process. Let's not forget about the UCS plaque and the minifigures. They definitely add to the display value of the set. The size is good. Here is it compared to the Volkswagen T2 camper van and the Ecto 1 set. You can play the iconic opening scene of the first movie with the camper van. Even the color is accurate, although the one in the movie did not have the camper roof. The Ecto 1 is much bigger, but the scale is more or less accurate. Don't forget that the original Cadillac is more than 6 meters long, compared to the 4.2 meters of the DeLorean. And believe me, the DeLorean in real life is ridiculously low at only 1.40 meters. Here is a little teaser of the real deal with the Lego version. A huge thanks to the Hungarian DeLorean Club for this amazing opportunity. You will see much more of the car in the next video. There are still a lot of things to discuss about the accuracy of the Lego set as a Back to the Future time machine replica and also as a DeLorean. I will also take the opportunity to compare all the previous Lego releases to this one and the real car, and I did not want this video to be super long, so you can expect the second part of my review soon with all the details and comparisons and also my final verdict about this set. If there's any extra detail you want me to show about the set in the second part, then please let me know in the comments. Please also share your opinion about the set so far. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications as the second part of this video and other exciting reviews are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.